Quasi here, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about semen retention and why this is the sole, most powerful way for you to become a conscious creator of your life. And by the end of this video, I'm going to share with you the 2 biggest keys that you need to know in order to be able to transmute this energy into other areas of your life that you actually want to see blossom. Before I begin this video, I wanted to quickly announce that I'm doing a free giveaway of my book, Life Mastery. If you want to enroll into a competition to win this book for free in the ebook format at the end of the week, just comment Life Mastery down below, and we'll be picking one lucky winner every single Friday to get this book for completely free. Also, I'm super excited to announce that the free one-to-one consult with me for the Reality Mastery program is now open. Spots have opened up, so if you're serious about transforming your life and working with me to do so, make sure you click on the link in the description below, and I hope I see you there. So with that, let's get started with this video. So in this video, I want to talk to you about semen retention. And usually this tends to be a very taboo topic and people don't want to talk about it as much. And if you're also a woman, this is also just as equally important for you. Now, why this is an important topic to understand is because what we want to do with semen retention essentially is channel our energy. Okay, so whenever we spill our seed, whenever we watch pornographic content, what happens is a part of our attention just spikes up into all these different directions, right? When we have all of these compulsivities, then we become less and less conscious. So essentially what we're trying to do is channel our energy. Right now you'll see there are holes in this energy, right? So let's say you want your energy to be channeled in this direction. Right? This is the big direction, the big hole you want to have, and you want to put all your energy up there. But the problem is right now there is compulsive activity like jerking off, there's compulsive activity like eating junk food, there's compulsive activity like incessantly watching TV, scrolling through social media, and maybe more other compulsive activities, right? We want to plug all of these holes, so what's left is just for this, right? It's just like when you become successful, if you study the lives of successful people, they don't have a choice. They make success the only choice. This is why sayings like, I would rather die than not be successful, are even out there, right? This is what Elon Musk said. And, I would rather not breathe oxygen than not be successful, right? So they're not giving themselves any other option but to be successful. So whatever it is you want in your life, if you really want to achieve the highest level of success, whether this be in your creative career, in your business, in your personal life, whatever it is, you got to make it like this. You got to make failure not an option, right? There is no option to fail. Like it just can't happen. It's impossible to fail. You just, success is the only way. This is the only channel that's open. And this is why I'm talking about semen retention today, because this is a big hole in people's lives where they're leaking energy, right? So this is something very important you got to understand. When your sexual energy gets, this is a survival instinct, right? We are constantly residing in this lower level, the level of our sacral chakra, okay? The lower levels of survival. And that's why we're not able to move up into thrival. We're always stuck into scarcity and we're not able to move into abundance. This is a way for you to move into abundance, right? And really, this is achieved by the process of elimination. And also the process of inversion. What do I mean by that? Well, the process of inversion essentially states that if you cut out all compulsivity, naturally the only thing that's left is consciousness. If you cut out all distractions, naturally, the only thing that's left is focus. If you plug all these holes, naturally, the only hole that's left is success, right? It's as simple as that. Really, success doesn't have to be as complicated as people make it out to be. And the biggest challenge people go through is falling back into their old selves, okay? In the identity shifting paradigm, this is what we call me falling back into my old patterns and my old self. This is the single biggest thing that keeps you stuck where you are, because you are taking one step forward, you make some really good progress, you go 7 days without jerking off, but now on the 8th day you relapse, right? And if you study Napoleon Hill's work, Think and Grow Rich, there's a chapter on it called Sex Transmutation. And he says that people who've become really successful, when he studied the lives of successful people, it was after they were 50 or 60. And when their sex drives have completely diminished and they just haven't been engaging in any sort of sexual activity, right? And because of that, as a result of that, they became super successful. This is how he correlated it. Now, you might not believe that, or you might choose to, whatever it is, but there is compelling evidence that semen retention is super powerful. Okay, so without giving it a try, you can't make a judgment on it. So I urge you to give it a try. So essentially, the biggest challenge is relapse. People just falling back into that old self, into that old compulsive patterns. Okay, and the biggest question, the $1 million question becomes then, how do you prevent relapse? And this is why I'm going to share with you the 2 keys that help you do just that. So with that, let's jump into the 2 keys. And key number 1, all you need to do is make it through the first 7 days. And what I've personally noticed is that day 4 and day 5 is like the toughest point. And if you study the testosterone curves, what happens is day 1, you're at 0% testosterone of your original level. And by day 7, you get to 150%. Okay, so people like to cycle it every 7 days, but I don't think you can get the max benefit out of that. But if you choose to try that out, definitely give it a shot. It's definitely a challenge, making it through the 5th day every time, rather than just, going the whole 30, 40, 1 year without doing it. Right, this is where we come into the realm of the brahmacharya. If you search up brahmacharya, Brahmacharya, brahmacharya. It's an ancient yoga. These are the people who completely refrain from all sexual behavior, and they sleep like 2 hours a night and just, work 22 hours a day. Right? And they're able to do that and have so much energy because for years and years they've just been retaining. Right? They've just been practicing. The practice of brahmacharya is refraining from all compulsive behavior and pursuing that one path, the path of consciousness. Right? Essentially what they're doing is they're plugging all the holes. So all that's left is focus, success. Right? That's what we want to do with our lives. Plug as many holes as we can. Okay? Plug as many distractions, eliminate as many distractions as we can. It's kind of like you fall back into the trap of checking your phone, but if you just get rid of your phone, put it in another room, you hire the activation energy needed for you to relapse. If you have porn blocker on your computer, then you hire the activation energy needed for you to overcome that, right? So again, the biggest problem is pornography. If you're watching porn, then your brain is literally shortening. And this is something I used to struggle with a lot in my younger years. And we're taught in society nowadays that it's normal to jerk off. But who said that that's normal? Why did we ever innocently accept that? And the biggest reason why people relapse is because of these ideas that they've been put with, right? This subconscious programming that we've been conditioned with, that, oh yes, you must maintain your sex drive, men's virility is the most important thing, and a man without virility is a failure, blah, blah, blah. So this is how we've associated with that. But what's the problem if you can't have sex anymore? There really isn't a problem if you're not optimizing for that. If that's what you're focusing on in your life, then this insecurity will always haunt you. But ask yourself this: if you were to sacrifice sex for success, would it be worth it? Really think about that. Do you really need sex to be in a fulfilling relationship? Somehow we've been planted with this idea that yes, we do need it. But there's 2 ways around that. It depends what you're optimizing for in your particular life, what you value, and really what is that longer term vision you have for yourself. I'm not saying you have to give up sex to be successful. That's not necessary. But that's just something to think about, right? Because we're planted with all of these ideas that, oh, you should do this and, you should do that and, you should jerk off once a week. It's good. It's good to get that release. But who says so? Why do they say this? Clearly there's some other agenda, right? So somehow we're being taught to stay at this level, this lower level of consciousness, rather than evolve. So there's a massive barrier, but mankind is doing really well right now to actually move up. Okay, so the biggest challenge is making it through the first 7 days. Once you make it through the first 7 days, you're good. Seriously. And number 2, what you want to understand is that whenever this urge arises, You want to just quietly observe it. Okay, this is also a very, very powerful, this is the single most powerful thing you can do for yourself. If you just observe any sort of urge that arises, that's just your survival instinct. When you become conscious of it, your consciousness goes up. You look at your urge to watch porn, you observe it. Who is it that urges for this? Who is it that longs for this? Because the truth is, no matter how much you get, it's never going to be enough. When we're trying to become one with the very source we came with, but we're trying to do it with material. But material doesn't merge like that. You can't become one with another person just by bumping uglies, right? You will just keep doing it, but it will never be enough. If you've really been in a relationship and it's been really fulfilling, and you just, have really intimate, passionate sex, it's never enough, right? You still want that little bit more. It's kind of like watching porn. You still want that little bit more. There's always a little bit more to be had. And that's because your desires are infinite, but you're seeking it in the finite realm. You're seeking it in 1,000,000, 1,000,001, 1,000,002. But these are finite numbers, finite sequences, okay? So the more you keep doing this, the more you fall into the trap, the illusion. The only way to experience the infinite is to experience it, okay? It's beyond this realm of the physical, right? So I don't want to delve into something like that. That's too esoteric for our purposes. But what you want to understand is that we're catering to our lower pleasures, okay? I have nothing wrong against being high, being, completely out of this world. But it's just when you use a drug, there's always a price to be paid. Rather than, your body contains all of the endocannabinoid receptors. Technically, if you knew how to push your right buttons, you could get naturally high within yourself. You could release those chemicals within yourself. Okay? And also at the same time maintain your awareness, not have to sacrifice your awareness. Because when you do a drug that's external to you, you sacrifice your awareness and a loan has to be repaid, aka in the form of a hangover. Right? So with that, I conclude this video. And just to really recap the general gist of it, most people struggle with semen retention. Most men struggle with semen retention is because they relapse. Why we relapse is because this old self comes back and it starts putting these ideas back into our head. It says, oh, you've made it through 7 days. Come on, just do it. Just let it out. It'll feel so much better. You'll feel good. But really, is it worth it? Come on, just make it past. Don't listen to that voice. Because we give in to that voice, it starts to run us. That voice starts to control us. The consciousness is missing. Consciousness is felt at that very, very empty space when you are thinking the thoughts. These are outgoing thoughts, not the incoming thoughts. Okay? So when you actually generate your thought, and at the same time, the thought will always break down. At a very, very high level, thought will always break down. Okay, so you got to understand the difference between your incoming and outgoing thoughts. If you want to do that, click up here. I've made a video on that. What you also got to understand, the 2 keys. Number 1, just make it through the first 7 days. That's all you need to do. If you make it through the first 7 days, it gets progressively easier. Number 2, whenever this urge arises for any sort of compulsivity, just quietly observe. To give you an example, I used to have the biggest urge for dessert. Like I would have to eat dessert. And whenever I eat dessert, I would have to pile so much into me. And then at the end, I would just feel drained and I would just be completely lethargic. And I hated that feeling. So now when this urge arises, what I do is I just observe it. I drink a glass of water and ask yourself 10 minutes later if you're feeling the same urge. When you feel the urge to bust a nut, observe it. And you'll see this gets so much easier. And with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this helped. Hope you liked this. If you want to see me make more videos like this, leave me a comment below. And also, ask me some questions of what kind of topics you would like me to do videos on. And I'd love to interact with you guys. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. I'm also super excited to announce that the free one-to-one consult with me for the Reality Mastery Program is open. So if you're interested in taking your life to absolute new heights using the most powerful paradigm of manifestation, the identity level, making an identity shift, make sure you click on the link in the description below to sign up. All right? So hope I see you there. Thank you for watching. If you want to get into the Facebook group as well, the link for that is also in the description. Till next time, peace.